You don't have to do anything. You don't have to do TikTok. You don't have to do a single thing in music, but you do have to answer the question of how are you going to cut through, how are you going to do this? If I had to describe the Sophs in one word, I would say cacophony.
I'd say triple threat. We're a band called the Sophs. We're from Los Angeles, and we released our first song in May of 2025. So sway yourself, sway yourself, 'cause God knows I won't do it for you. The guys in the band are Devin, our drummer. We have Seth, our acoustic guitar player, Austin, our electric guitar player, Cole, our bassist, and Sam, our keyboard player and multi-instrumentalist. My name is Ethan Ramon. I am the lead singer of the LA-based band The Sophs.
My name is Poppy Reed, and I'm a music journalist that speaks to musicians every day about breaking through. In an era where artists are forced to game algorithms and internet antics, what if you don't? That's where the Sophs come in.
Me and the guys were living in Los Angeles, making connections, sending people music, all on a grassroots level, kind of building this natural buzz around the Sophs. I didn't want to put a single song out to deaf ears. You know, I thought the music was too good. I didn't want to have to resort to internet antics. I was like, we need to get signed. Which I know it sounds like an absolutely brain-dead dream as a band. It sounds like what you ask like a middle schooler when they're like, yeah, what do you want to do with your band? He's like, yeah, I want to get signed. I knew exactly what I wanted. I knew what I didn't want. And I knew, above all else, that I wanted to win. I was working as a PA at the time, and they had gotten me access to this website where you could just directly email the CEO of a company. And so I wanted to use that for myself to skip the demo submissions process. I put together with Eric, our creative director, a 5-song demo reel, a brand Bible, some press photos, and the equivalent to a cover letter, basically. And I sat down one day and I emailed that out to 30 CEOs of independent record labels. The very next day, I heard back from Jeff Travis of Rough Trade Records. He called me at 8 a.m. the next morning, said that he loved the songs. And by pure kismet, the co-founder of Rough Trade, Jeanette Lee, was going to be in Los Angeles in about 10 days with the band Pulp. And that before, moving any further with the Sophs, they needed to see a show live. Us, as the Sophs, we had only practiced together maybe once or twice, but what was I gonna tell him, no. So I told him we'd figure it out. We'd have a show on the exact day that she was in town and she was free. Cole pulled in a favor with the bouncer at Old Town Pub in Pasadena and basically spent 7 to 9 hours a day just getting our set.
General connection or like authentic connection with an artist happens live in person. I think you can ask anyone if they remember their first concert experience. They know who they saw, they know who they were with, the people that they were standing next to. You don't get that kind of emotion, I think, in online experiences.
We gathered maybe 40 or 50 of our friends in a room and put on a show. Jeanette, said she loved it, and we signed before the end of the year. Sweetie pie, I'm sorry, but this drink's gone to my head, and I want to say I'm sick of only eating when I'm fed.
That first email didn't come with a long runway. When Rough Trade showed interest, the Sophs didn't yet have a full album, a touring history, or an established audience. What they had was a narrow window, and the choice to move quickly. Over the next few months, they wrote constantly, rehearsed daily, and played any show they could book, using momentum as their main currency. In the absence of an online-first strategy, their identity began forming the old way, on stage, in rehearsal rooms, and in front of live audiences.
I think with social media, the thing that we are trying to achieve there is reach. But just because you reach people doesn't necessarily mean that you convert those to fans, right? So it is that combination of, all right, we've reached them, we've given them content that brings them in and makes them followers. Then beyond them being followers, what do we do to turn them into those super fans who end up buying your merch, buying your tickets, coming to events, coming to pop-ups, like evangelizing everything you do and going out into the world and essentially being your promotion for you, right?
And a lot of people wind up just kind of sitting around and like whining about it, honestly, at the end, because it is hard. It actually is like real life frustrating, and it makes you feel really discouraged if you are alone. And so we're really lucky and thankful to have this label. You know, a lot of people have negative things to say about labels, but not every label is the same.
So many artists are so obsessed with their own integrity that they end up neglecting opportunities.
You gotta go back and hit refresh and ask yourself what you really think is dirty and what you really think is selling your soul, or if you're just scared to try.
For any artists that are on the fence as to whether or not they should sign to a label, I think you should gather up all of the pocket change you have and find a really good lawyer. Get a team around you prior to signing to a label that you really trust, a team of professionals. Find people who know what they're talking about as far as contracts and music law, and have them analyze your situation. And then you have to meet the people face to face too and spend significant time talking with them. Signing isn't something that you should go into blind. I think more often than not, you probably shouldn't sign. But my position and the opportunity that I was presented, it was absolutely a no-brainer.
Nothing about the band's growth followed a predictable arc. Touring created immediate feedback. What worked, what didn't, and where connection actually formed. Over time, those experiences clarified not just the songs, but how the band understood its audience. By the end of the year, they didn't have certainty, but they did have direction.
At this stage in the game for us, all of us are working side jobs. We all have side hustles going on, but we move forward nonetheless with this kind of delusional self-belief that give it a couple years, the Sophs will fund everything for all of us. The majority of the money that we get goes immediately back into the band as its own separate entity and isn't split 6 ways into all of our pockets. There are many different kinds of income when working in music. Obviously, finances, there's attention, there is love, and I think if you're at a point where music is sustaining all of those, then you have truly made it as a musician.
After a year of shows, new relationships, and steady growth, the Sophs enter a new year with clarity. A debut album, festival dates, and an expanding tour schedule. Their story reflects a larger truth in today's music industry. Momentum isn't built by algorithms alone. It's built through live audiences, real connection, and the ability to act when opportunity appears.
At the end of it, we have this crazy thing that we all love, and some of the best to make coming up, so.